Hold on to your wallets, folks, because we're about to dive into some of the priciest endeavors mankind has ever undertaken. We're counting down the top 5 most expensive things man has ever made. By the end of this, you might not feel so bad about that expensive latte you bought this morning or the overpriced pair of shoes you're still paying off. So, without further ado, let's dive into the world of big money and even bigger ambitions. Kicking off our top 5 countdown, we're traveling to China, where they didn't just build a wall, they built the wall. The Great Wall of China, folks, is no ordinary backyard fence. It's a grand testament to human will, stretching over 13,000 miles. That's like building a wall from New York to Los Angeles and then deciding, hey, let's do that 3 more times just for kicks. Now, let's talk price tag. The Great Wall was constructed over several dynasties and centuries, so it's hard to put an exact figure on it. But historians estimate it to be close to $70 billion in today's money. $70 billion. For that price, you could build a personal fortress around every single house in a city the size of Boston. So next time you complain about your neighbor's fence, just remember, it could have been a great wall. Next on our list, we're shooting for the moon, quite literally. The Apollo Moon Landing Program, or as I like to call it, the most expensive cheese hunt in history. It was a stellar endeavor that cost a whopping $25 billion back in the 60s. That's about $175 billion in today's money. Let's put that into perspective. With that kind of cash, you could buy the moon, or at least a very large moon-shaped cheese wheel. Now, why was it so pricey? Well, rocket science isn't exactly as easy as pie, or in this case, as easy as cheese. The program required groundbreaking technology, intensive training, and a whole lot of fuel, not to mention the fact that they were literally shooting humans into space. So, what did we get for all that cheddar? Well, besides the first human footprints on the moon, we got a whole new perspective on our place in the universe. And that, folks, is why they say, if you can land on the moon, you can do anything. If you've got a few $1 billion to spare, that is. As we climb higher on our list, we're leaving the moon behind and heading to the International Space Station. The ISS. A whopping $150 billion worth of cosmic real estate. It's like building a mansion, but in space. Imagine the property taxes. The ISS is a joint effort between 5 space agencies, and it's been continuously occupied since November 2000. Talk about a long-term lease. It's not just a shiny piece of space hardware. It's a fully functioning laboratory, a home away from home for astronauts, and a beacon of international cooperation. But let's not forget about our number 2, the Manhattan Project. This was the United States' secret endeavor during World War II to develop the atomic bomb. It cost a staggering $2 billion back in the 40s. That's about $28 billion today, adjusted for inflation. Makes your last online shopping spree seem like pocket change, doesn't it? This project wasn't just about building a bomb. It was about creating a whole new understanding of physics, and it employed some of the brightest minds of the time. It's like if your high school science fair project had an unlimited budget and was aimed at ending a global conflict. No pressure, right? So, if you ever feel like your DIY project is getting out of hand, just remember, at least you're not building an international space station or trying to split an atom. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the most expensive thing man has ever made. Drumroll, please. It's none other than the U.S. highway system, which cost a staggering $593 billion. That's billion with a B, folks. Now, you might be thinking, that's a lot of dough. And you're right. In fact, with that kind of money, you could buy every single person on Earth about 83 pizzas. That's enough to have a pizza party for the entire planet. Or if you're more into practicality, that's enough to buy roughly 236 billion rolls of toilet paper. We're talking Mount Everest made of toilet paper times 10. But instead, we got a highway system, which, let's face it, is probably a bit more useful. So there you have it, folks. Money really can't buy happiness, but it sure can buy some impressively expensive things. Well, if you're not feeling dizzy from all those zeros, let's tally up our grand total. The Great Wall of China, the Apollo Moon Landing, the International Space Station, the Manhattan Project, and the most expensive thing man has ever made. All together, They cost more than a small country's GDP. Enough to make you think twice about leaving the lights on, eh? And remember, the next time you splurge on that extra-large pizza, just think, you could have been building your own space station. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through the world of big-ticket items. Until next time, keep dreaming big and spending wisely.